Hello, my name's Grace. Welcome to another video. I hope you all are doing well, staying healthy despite these crazy times. Now, I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of time to sit around, snack, bake bread, and also read. I thought I would come to you today with a little book haul to give you maybe some ideas of books that you might want to pick up. Some of my favorite videos to watch are book hauls because I like to watch people just hoard a bunch of new books, and it gives me kind of ideas of what I should be reading, what's new. I definitely feel like I've gotten a really decent amount of books in the last year, but never really showed them on my channel, so never fear, that's what I'm gonna do today. So the first book is something that I actually had to read for my social psychology class at school, and I actually really enjoyed it, so I'd highly recommend that you read it. Don't mind all of my tabs. Notice how they're at the beginning of the book because that's actually what I mostly paid attention to. But it's called The War for Kindness by Jamil Zaki. Basically, it talks about how empathy can be used throughout the world to kind of make people more kind, and it talks about kindness in different types of contexts and how this affects people, their behavior, and kind of overall like psychological phenomenons. What I really like about this book is that, you know, you're being taught like really complex ideas and theories and all these kinds of things, but it's explained to you very simply because it's explained to you in the context of real world studies with data that's like understandable. And what you can do when you're reading this book is like really zoom out and apply these studies that they talk about throughout the book and kind of apply that to your real life. And that's something that I really enjoy. And if you like kind of learning and like nonfiction psychology stuff, it's a really great book. So the next book that I want to talk about is actually one of my personal favorites that I just read, and it's called The Thing Around Your Neck by Chimimanda Ngozi Adichie. This is how I believe you say the name, not 100% sure. But basically this is a short story collection of a bunch of different stories that relate to kind of things that happen in Nigeria, and they're fiction. Actually, I'm not 100% sure if they're all from Nigeria. And I should know this because I read this book, but this is really embarrassing. But they're definitely all short stories that kind of relate to African culture, assimilating into other cultures, and just in general, these stories bring a lot of awareness to a lot of like maybe cultural problems that you see throughout the world that relate to kind of like Africans moving abroad and like people coming to Africa. It's definitely a book that has some heavy topics, and it raises a lot of awareness about how we can kind of think about other cultures and appreciate them. I think the author of this book has one of the most like famous TED Talks on YouTube, and so I'll link it down below so that we can watch it because I absolutely love revisiting it. If you're okay with some more heavy topics, I definitely would recommend reading this. It's very worth reading. The next book is something that I haven't read yet, but it's The Modern Fairy Tales by Holly Black. I don't know about you, but I'm a really big Cassandra Clare fan, like The Infernal Devices, The Mortal Instruments, Dark Artifices, all of them. I love them. Cassandra Clare is my jam. And Cassandra Clare and Holly Black actually have written some books together, I believe, and you know, like they're really great author friends, and authors support authors, and the readers of certain authors support readers of other authors. And I feel like because I am a huge Cassandra Clare fan, Cassandra Clare is a huge Holly Black fan, the reactions are just hopping from one person to another, and so therefore perhaps I am going to become a huge Holly Black fan. This is the entire trilogy in one. It's Tithe, Valiant, and Ironside all in one paperback book. I think something that publishers have been doing lately is that they just like stuff a bunch of books into one so that way you feel like you're getting your bang for your buck when you buy it, which is 100% true. I completely love this idea. You know, I was able to get 3 books in one. I think I want you guys to tell me your opinion on this. I really like when paperback books are really big and you get to the middle because they just like sit open like that. However, when I'm starting a book, and like this is the most important part because you want to make sure that you stay motivated when you're reading. When you start a paperback book, this is like the ratio of pages, right? And you just like have to like strain your hand so hard when you read a paperback book and it's like so thick. The soft cover is just so flimsy and it gets really heavy on one side and it gets really light on the other side. It's not something that I enjoy. On the flip side, when you're almost done with the book, I mean, it's kind of motivational because you only have like this much left and you've already like read this much, but really the worst part when you just start a really big book is like this whole disparity. So I want to know your thoughts on that. Or is it better to read like a paperback book that's a little bit thinner so that way you don't have as much strain? Those are my 2 cents. Nevertheless, I think this will be a fun book to read. The next book that I want to talk about, I'm all here for representation, you know me, American Panda by Gloria Chao. I think To All the Boys I've Loved Before and maybe a couple other novels are kind of the only books that I see representing Asian American females. We all love some really apparent representation here. Number 1, Panda. How can you get more Asian American than that? Pandas are in China. And this book clearly follows some like stereotypes that you would kind of associate with Asian Americans in America. Asian Americans in America, you get what I mean. So our main character skipped like 4 years of school, is now really young and a freshman at MIT. I think we can kind of figure out kind of what the stereotypes we would associate with our main character. Nevertheless, I'm really interested. I haven't read this book yet, but I'm interested because I'm still here for all of that representation, promoting diversity in literature, because for as long as I can remember, protagonists of many novels have been predominantly assumed to just be like white males, white females. So we're here for this nonetheless. One thing that I want to know about this book is that it's not really centered around romance. So the main character of this book, May, actually ends up connecting with her older brother and kind of like figuring out life and deciding that maybe she doesn't want to like go down this super academic path. And that's something that I think I personally struggled with. So I'm really excited to see how this book goes. The next book that I want to talk about is actually a sample because I don't have the full thing, but I really just want to hype it up because it's one of my favorite series ever. And that is Rebel by Marie Lu. Marie Lu is one of my favorite authors. I actually met her in the 7th grade when she came to visit my middle school for an author tour. I got to personally take a picture with her. I'm going to try to find it. It's probably in my archives somewhere. And it was really dope. I got to like speak in front of the crowd and introduce her to the school. It was so cool. I'm still fangirling over it. So Marie Lu is the author of the Legend trilogy, which is one of the best dystopian trilogies I've ever read. So I would highly recommend it. So I'm very excited to see what goes on in Rebel because it's a legend novel and I feel like the world that Marie created was so intricate and entertaining and there were so many different facets to it. And I'm excited to see how this little novel explores it. We are no longer following the main character in this novel though. We're following the main character's younger brother. I'm still excited to see how it goes, though I miss the main characters. Nevertheless, am I gonna read this? Am I probably gonna buy the full version? Yes. I'm a huge Hank Green stan. I love watching John and Hank in their YouTube videos, and so I picked up an absolutely remarkable thing by Hank Green. When you think about the Green brothers, you think Hank and DFTBA and John and like The Fault in Our Stars Looking for Alaska. You think John's the author and Hank is the scientist. He does Crash Course. I'm here to like read Hank's book because I think Hank is someone that when you like hear him speak, he sounds like this really smart, really charismatic, funny dude, and I feel like that would translate really well into his writing. This book just like has like the most like quirky premise, and you know, I'm looking for something that's really unique because a lot of storylines follow the same kind of path. Of course, I want to hear about like a 23-year-old running through New York City at 3 a.m. and running into like this Transformer suit person. Like that sounds dope. I'm probably gonna be picking this up like today or tomorrow because I have nothing to do in quarantine, so can't wait for that, and I will update you guys on my thoughts. All right, so that is my book haul for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will link all of the books down in the description box below with different places that you can get them from. Amazon, Book Depository. Book Depository, if you're international, is really great because they ship worldwide for free. I'm very excited to read the 3 or 4 books that I have not gotten to yet. Would recommend that you read these 2, the first 2 that I mentioned, if you haven't yet. You know, I have lots of free time, so let's chat in the comments below. Tell me some books that I should be reading. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to do more, please subscribe to my channel. My name's Grace. I'll see you in another video. Bye!